Yo guys, what's up? Welcome back to another episode. Today we'll be ranking the bosses that we fought from episode 5 to episode 8 in our CalamityInfernum playthrough. That's right. That goes from Queen Slime all the way to Plantera and Calamitas clone. So, yeah, we're just gonna continue with the same list, right as we left off with it. And we're gonna start with Queen Slime. I actually found this fight very difficult. But it was surprisingly really fun. I feel like it's a great step into hard mode, and simply just everything about it, I'm just gonna put it in A tier because I think it was a really cool fight, and it really put the stage for what's gonna happen in hard mode. Next is the Ogre. Now I'm gonna put this in D tier because I mainly just don't remember anything that happened in this fight. It just like spawned in, but I killed it really fast. So I don't even know if I should actually rank it, but I'm not gonna put it in D tier because it was pretty forgettable. He just mostly just jumps around here and there. He like throws some projectiles. He throws like the snot stuff at you. It's basically the same fight except he dashes around way more. So for that, we're just gonna put him in D tier. Cryogen. Ooh, I think Cryogen was a pretty fun fight. It was really difficult. Sort of difficult actually, but I like in Infernum, in the background they have the Borealis effect, not the effect, just like the Borealis, like light, the northern lights in the background, the Aurora, sorry, not Borealis, Aurora in the background, and I think that was really cool. But yeah, the fight was really intense, especially like you could tell he was starting to tweak out at the end because of how many projectiles he's just spamming out. I feel like though it's a little hard to see the projectiles, and I feel like that's kind of annoying. But I'll put him in B tier because I think that's fair. Because it had a lot of annoying projectiles here and there, but I enjoy the atmosphere of the fight. Destroyer. Okay, we're gonna do all 3 mech bosses. I think the Destroyer is B tier. I think Skeletron Prime is C tier, and I think the Twins is S tier. Actually, yeah, I think it's like that because. First, I'll explain the Destroyer. The Destroyer has so many probes and so many projectiles. It becomes overwhelming, but I don't think it's too overwhelming. I think it's decent. There's not that much things that change in the fight besides in the midway where he does like the laser walls. I think that's okay. It's pretty basic. You just have to dash at the right time to avoid his head to avoid getting like half your health bar gone in one hit. But I think the Destroyer is a B tier. Skeletron Prime, I know that this fight is trying to be like the Exomech Ares so badly. It's just not. It's actually, I feel like this boss is easier in Infernum than it is in base game because the fact that all the hands share the same health, is it just makes that part so obsolete, and then it just becomes glorified. It's easier than Skeletron somehow, because Skeletron has so many projectiles they have to avoid, but in Skeletron Prime's fight, if you have a dash and wings, you can just like dash over its projectiles over and over again. It's really redundant and such an easy fight. So I'm gonna put that in C tier. Now the Twins, I love the Twins fight. I love how there's 2 different versions of a second phase depending on which one you kill. I think that's so good. I just think it's really dynamic of a fight. It changes so much. I think it's one of the better fights in the mod. I think it's one of the best fights in the mod actually. I think it's projectile spammy. It's like rhythmic. Like it has rhythm. Okay, it has rhythm, and it doesn't feel the same though, despite it having rhythm. I don't know how to really describe it, but it's a really well made fight, and it's also really challenging too. It's one of the more challenging fights. And for that, I think it's gonna go in S tier. I think it's one of the best fights. Ooh, Aquatic Scourge. I don't know how I feel about this fight because I don't really enjoy the first phase that much. With like the bubbles and stuff like that, it's so annoying. But I think if you have the right potions and the right just like equipment in general, this fight can be fun. But I think this fight would be more fun if you're melee. I think most worm bosses are more fun if you're melee. I think they're just more, because like melee you get most of the hits in them. It's like, I don't know, I just feel like they're more fun in melee. But where would I put this in my own opinion? I think I'd put it in B tier. I don't really think it was that hard. I beat it pretty easily actually once I got like the right equipment and everything. I don't know. The second phase is pretty cool though, where that water becomes super acidic and you're forced above ground. I think that's pretty cool. I like the concept of the fight in general, so I'm just gonna put it in. I'm gonna put it in B tier. All right. Brimstone Elemental. Okay. Brimstone Elemental. Yes. All right. This fight is pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's really projectile heavy, but if you know how to bait the projectiles into going where you want, it actually does become way easier. It becomes way easier because once you figure out how to bait the projectiles, then they don't really become that much of an issue. The ring thing is pretty cool. I really like the ring idea. I like I feel like, is this one of the first bosses where it uses the homing laser, like the laser where it tries predicting where you go? Because that's really annoying, but it's also pretty cool because I feel like it teaches you. It's the first like boss that does that. I think. I know the Wall of Flesh does that too. Yeah, the Wall of Flesh does that too. But the Wall of Flesh doesn't shoot after projectiles after that, right? So this one does, and you have to avoid those two. And I feel like that does set up. It's an evolution. And I feel like it's done pretty well. I'm gonna put that in A tier. I feel like this is a really good boss. Ooh, Calamitas clone. Okay, this fight was so hard. This fight was so difficult. I skipped over it so I could do Plantera instead. But this fight was so difficult for me. I think it's a really fun fight. I feel like they should explain how the hexes work. They don't really show how those work because apparently Calamitas clone has three or more. I don't know how many he has. Hexes that she can put on you, and depending on how you get hit and stuff like that, and those will affect the way the projectiles interact with the player. For example, like there's one that makes the projectiles slower but they home, and that's like the easiest one. If you get that, it makes the fight easier. But there's ones where if she'll shoot like way more projectiles and those projectiles move way faster, making it virtually impossible to avoid them. And I don't know what the other one does. I think that one someone's like Brim Seekers that like shoot like projectiles at you or something. I don't know, but that's like later in the fight though, where they become actually really annoying. But luckily I was able to actually beat her before she was able to make those annoying. But I think she's more a really fun fight if you know what they mean. So that's gonna go to A tier. Plantera. This fight was really fun. I don't know. There's something about that was just so good. And I think that was mainly just like the variety of attacks Plantera has, and also the enclosed but open arena you had to fight her in. Well, you didn't have to fight her in that arena. You could have made a bigger arena, but obviously that arena was made for Plantera, considering the fact there's just huge Plantera bulbs just right there. So yeah, fighting Plantera in that arena just feels so natural. And the way like what's it called, the vines in the second phase, they like split the arena, they forcefully like to split the arena. I think that's so cool. I think more bosses should force more enclosed spaces on players, because I feel like the more open the more room the player has to move, the easier the boss is. Well, obviously we haven't gone to later in the hard mode, so we'll find that out. But I feel like bosses that enclose their players into a specific area, I feel like they're usually more fun and they're more challenging, and they're just more entertaining to fight against. And for that, I'm putting Plantera also in A tier. Well, this is gonna be a short video, I'll tell you that. Yeah, there's really not much, because most of the stuff we've done in these episodes have been events and everything, and those don't really show up on this list. So yeah, that's just gonna do it for today. If you like what you saw, hit that like button and make sure to subscribe. I need, we're almost close to 30 subscribers. If you want to be my 30th subscriber, you should hit that subscribe button. That'd be really swell. That'd be really great. So yeah, hit that like button and subscribe. But you can. I don't even care if you hit the like button. Just hit the subscribe. Everyone should subscribe, right? Everyone should subscribe. But yeah, just want to get this video out there. And until then, that's gonna be it for until then.